You can barbecue it, you can boil it, you can broil it, bake it, you can saute it. There's cricket kebabs, cricket creole, cricket gumbo, pan fried, deep fried, stir fried. There's pineapple cricket, lemon cricket, coconut cricket, cricket soup, cricket stew, cricket salad. Yeah, I can't keep this up. Sorry. Something I've picked up in my advanced stage is that you get to pick the voices you let into your head. Your own Jiminy Crickets. Kind of dating myself with that one. So you have your actual conscience. It's going to tell you what's right and what's wrong, at least what you think is, and then you have the opinions of others that you allow in there. It's going to debate or reinforce those ideas. Now, those voices are tourists. You can kick them out at any time if you can isolate that chirping. But what I've found is that the financial advice given by others tends to be some of the hardest stuff to get out of there. It's kind of a weird way to start a video maybe, but this question of whether gold is a good investment or not, it just keeps coming up. If Dave Ramsey's in your head, well, he's telling you gold is a bad investment. And look, if he's in your head, you probably have his other ideas in there too. Now, I don't really follow him, but I know a little bit about his debt snowball idea. Kind of like it. That's where you pay off small debts first. You gain capital and momentum. You put that towards those bigger and bigger debts. Seems like a decent plan to me. And if that's a strategy that you're following, well, maybe gold doesn't fit into that plan. And usually it's just a case of mislabeling. I don't call gold an investment. This idea, though, that there's only one single path, there's only one lane, it's just not something I've ever found to be true. I can handle multiple plans and multiple strategies at one time, and when it comes to financial aptitude, I'm a simple. So if I can figure it out, so can anyone else. I buy real estate, I've improved it, I've managed it, I've rented it, flipped it, whatever. I have retirement plans, I can invest in a brokerage account, monkey around with crypto, I can move money through money markets, any other high yield product. I can still look at gold purchases at the same time and see that as contributory toward my overall plan. So it's a lot of things going on at one time, and I've never really looked at any one of those and thought, well, that thing is good, but that other thing is dumb. People are able to operate on multiple lanes and still move forward. So if someone like Dave Ramsey's comparing gold to the S&P, well, maybe he's making an assumption about the person calling in to ask the question. Maybe he's assuming they can only handle one thing. And that might be how 60-second financial advice works. I mean, he's made a whole career around it. He's going to know more about that than I do. So if someone is telling you that gold is a bad investment, well, they might be right. It just depends on their perspective, what they're expecting out of it, what they're comparing it to. Now, I'm not sure it really matters, though. It definitely doesn't matter to me. I don't grade it using the same criteria as I do with, say, real estate or equities. It's more a savings to me. And Dave, I'm sorry, but he's just not a cricket I've let into my head. I don't really do well with 60-second financial advice. Now, it works both ways. On the one side, we have people like Dave Ramsey who probably do give good, solid, basic, one-track advice. And maybe they just don't like gold because it doesn't fit into that single-lane plan. And then on the other side, we have people telling us that we need gold for a lot of reasons that we don't. The CBDC is right around the corner. Watch out, because it's coming in June. BRICS nations are going to supplant the dollar. Government's coming for you. Klaus Schwab wants you to eat the bugs. Well, it's a loud time. Lots of chirping. Don't worry, these crickets aren't for dinner. I'm not sure which voices are worse. So the reason this keeps coming up is that people just want to know if we should be buying. And the only reason that I think people are asking is because they kind of know. Prices are high and spot price could drop. But then there's this other side of it too, that any new crisis will probably push prices up. We've seen that. And when you have 100 crickets telling you about crises being right around every corner, well, it starts to get into your brain. Makes you want to buy as much as you can. Now, I still enjoy buying gold, even when I think that it's a little bit expensive. I know that I'm going to benefit from having that gold, and I'm not going to get too caught up in the idea that my most recent purchases It might have been made on a high. Price might drop after I've purchased them, but I probably won't be selling in that period of time. Now, if you're rushing to buy, trying to get ahead of a looming need, whether it's real or imagined, well, that's a hard call. Gold, it typically doesn't have great returns inside of a year. You're going to pay 6% or more for premiums, so gold has to go up at least that 6% or whatever you paid inside of 12 months for you to come out even. Now, if that's your plan, well, so be it, but you're gambling. And nobody can tell you whether or not that's a good bet because nobody can see the future. One thing I'll say there, though, is that the house has the advantage on that one. Now, personally, I try not to buy gold if there's any chance that I'm going to have to turn around and sell it in the near future. So it's tough to get perspective on this one. There's really no answer to the question of whether or not you should be buying. I just know whether I should be. I know that I personally won't sell in the next 5 to 10 years, and I know that I enjoy the purchases. So for me, it's pretty easy. Just makes sense. People like Dave Ramsey, they don't hold any sway over that decision. Again, for me. For you, I would say just try to be clear about your reasons for buying and then when you might possibly be selling. And if the crickets in your head are telling you to do something that you don't think is right, don't do it. And I think that covers us here. So let us know what you're up to. It's a really crazy time right now. Seems to be a lot of good reasons to be buying, but prices are just making that a little bit harder call. So let us know what you think. And then while you're in the comments, be sure to hit that like button if you found any of this interesting. Be sure you're subscribed with notifications turned on if you'd like to see more on the topic. And if you're still here, thanks again for watching. I always appreciate your time. Take care.